it is like they are at war with the virus. All of society is mobilized in the fight against the virus and accomplish what Singapore and Hong Kong have accomplished.
Blitz spirit.
Blitz spirit, absolutely.
I mean, a lot of people might be really surprised, if not sort of vaguely insulted, that you're comparing this to a war, World War II.
Well, WHO is using those kinds of terms and talking about what's required to mobilize people. They're using metaphors that are derived from war, and it's because they have seen what this virus is capable of doing. The outbreak in Wuhan was clearly a mitigated outbreak. It was mitigated by the incredible sets of interventions that were introduced, and yet, even though it was mitigated, it had not played out to the full extent. It overwhelmed the healthcare system. It caused, I think at this point, it's something like 2,400 deaths in Wuhan. In a normal year in Wuhan, you would probably anticipate about 1,500 deaths from flu. This was a mitigated version of this outbreak. It could have continued on and gone to probably several multiples of what actually happened. And you saw the breakdown of the medical care system. You saw people who couldn't receive care, not just for COVID-19, but for any of their other medical conditions. And you saw a society that was completely paralyzed. So I don't think that comparing this to a war or even to the Blitz spirit, I think that's actually an appropriate analogy. And I think that's the mindset that people need to get into.
South Korean President Moon Jae-in declared war against the coronavirus Tuesday. He also announced that $25 billion in funding will now be put towards stopping the outbreak.
This is a time for facts, not fear. This is a time for science, not rumors. This is a time for solidarity, not stigma. I believe this is a time for reason and cool-headedness. This is a time for scientific approach and reasonable response. It is my hope that people from all quarters of society will stand up against this challenge and pull together.
So that means we have to mount up, and you have to make sure that you're ready. Our country has to make sure that it's ready. There are a lot of new technologies using RF that could be implemented across airports, could be implemented everywhere in the hospitals, all over, and we could really be knocking this virus out. But we got to step up and use the technology that's at our disposal. It's not just about a vaccine. We got a lot more technology than that now. And RF is a great way to start to combat this thing. Just as I'm doing with my products, before they go out to you, this could be done at every airport. We could, you could run the lights through the airplanes. We could be manufacturing these things so fast.
This type of UV light, called Far-UVC, can't get past the top layer of the skin or the tear layer of the eyes.
It really does have the best of both worlds. It really does kill influenza virus, and it really doesn't harm you and I.
A newly published paper from his lab shows even a low dose is more than 95% effective against airborne flu virus.
How do you envision this being used in real life?
We could see it being used as overhead lamps in doctors' waiting rooms or schools or any type of hospital or airports, for example.
Or airplanes.
I was sitting in an airplane a couple of days ago, and the person behind me was sneezing away. And I was thinking to myself, now if we only had Far-UVC lights in the ceiling of this airplane, maybe I won't get the flu.
I hope somebody out there is listening, because if this thing is as bad as it seems like it could be, we're going to need a technological response, not just a, not just a CD.
We're in a real live war at the moment, and it's a war that we're truly losing. It's